Absolutely. Some of the other heroes we've seen so much, like obviously the Li Ming you talked about. We've seen the White Mane now 2 games in a row. Do we see more Sally? I think she definitely has a place. She's now uh, won one match, lost one match, but I thought Valmar was playing the White Mane pretty decently. I don't think it had quite the opportunity to counter in the same fashion we saw the first matchup with White Mane up against the Phoenix. But I did think White Mane, I think continued through this set. I think we might be able to see a little bit more for as we're heading into this draft on Battlefield of Eternity. Is this still just the Medivh ban off the top as quickly as possible?
I think it has to be. Battlefield of Eternity has a lot of opportunities for Medivh to be very strong, especially with the portals and how close the fights over the immortals can be. So being able to take that tool out of the kit for Inting for Globes, I think has to be a priority for Hero League Superstars if they want to find continued success here.
We're going to see an Abathur ban once again. So we saw that last game as well from Inting for Globes. We're expecting the Medivh ban here from Hero League Superstars, but if there's anything else to ban, do you still think it's the Diablo, or do you think maybe it shifts a bit over to something else? There's the Medivh.
I think again the same way that Diablo that Medivh has a ton of utility on this map. Diablo also does because of how enclosed the objective team fights tend to be. Lots of things to run into with that shadow charge. So we've seen what Tenny can do on Diablo. I mean, he can int a little bit, but he's also been very, very good with his ability to disposition other team players. And again, no surprise, that's the second ban.
Well, we're calling them every single time here on twitch.tv/HeroesHype. Had a lot of fun so far following these teams as there we call that one again. Tyrande highly prioritized the first pick. It's going to switch teams this time. Valimar going to take a shot once again on the Tyrande.
I'm wondering if this time we'll see a little bit more of the Murda alongside the Tyrande this time. The old school Mirande comps where you get the stun into the follow-up stun into the blow-up potential. So I would be very pleased if I saw Muradin and Li Ming come out, although it's almost like Hero League Superstars read my mind. They take Muradin off the board and Hanzo will be their DPS. Big damage in that immortal race with the W build.
Yeah, I really like Hanzo. Especially on this map, it's just so easy to win the race. But we do have to note, and we haven't really talked too much about it, Tyrande, the Hunter's Mark, is of a lot of value here on BOE. It really can help during the race, and you can bring in a different set of heroes that can really help you. Li Ming being one of those who does have a place on this map, of course. But with a well-timed Hunter's Mark, those orbs, those missiles, they do a lot more damage and can really swing that race in the favor here of Inting for Globes.
Definitely one of the biggest tools in Tyrande's kit is just the ability to really get that damage in on your target of choice, whether it be the immortal or somebody that you're potentially locking down with a garage throw into a lunar flare. Lots of opportunity there to really get targets down with Tyrande's kit as Maiev goes off the board on the ban list. And no big surprise, saw a lot of utility out of Maiev, and since they have their support of choice, Inting for Globes taking White Mane off the board, not a surprise to see that, because really that leaves you with Deckard Cain and then a lot of other options that have their uses as supports, but aren't quite as strong overall.
So they could look to continue this race or try to find a way to deal with the garage. Maybe some extra range. I know Hanzo actually does a decent job against garage. They're going to go with Ariel, which you don't see too often right now, and the Yarel, which is a hero you of course see almost every single game. But thoughts on Ariel, Jay?
Ariel's been in kind of a weird spot. Now, having the ability to not run a mana pool is important, but the critical thing is having a battery for her to really charge up that hope bar. And I'd expect to see a really high damage kind of mage, maybe even a Gul'dan coming out of the last pick on the side of Hero League Superstars. Been a very good partner for Oriel in a lot of metas past. Don't see a ton of him anymore just with the way the meta's shifted, but we're seeing everything here in the HeroesHype Amateur Series as Greymane will make an appearance on the side of Inting for Globes. I like that pickup. Very good Immortal Race when he goes into Worgen form, just starts clawing left and right on that side. Blaze the offlane pickup as well. Right on meta here. Not much to say about that. Really kind of expected with Yrel on the other side already.
And they have a lot of ways now to absolutely decimate heroes. You can get that cursed bullet after a taunt and just lock it down with the damage from Li Ming to get the kill. They could have some instant deletions with a Greymane and a Li Ming. We'll see if they can pull that off. Maxorian going back to his Zeratul. Will he be able to flip the script with a Void Prison? We will find out. Very excited to see him pick up the hero again this evening. I thought he definitely was an MVP when we saw him up against Azure during the semifinal match on this hero.
Yeah, that 5-man Void Prison that really spelled the beginning of the end for Azure in that match, I think was kind of the focal point of the play. And this is a different composition, though, from the side of Hero League Superstars, and it'll be interesting to see where the crown for Oriel goes. If it's going to be the Hanzo being the more consistent damage output, or if you're going to see it on the Maxorian into the team fights, looking for those big cleaves, trying to find a ton of damage for charging up that bar of hope.
And here we go, heading into game number 2 of this grand finals. On the left-hand side, we have Inting for Globes. Winterheart can be playing the Greymane as Ariel on the Li Ming. Valimar on Tyrande. Tenny is going to be playing the Garrosh. And up in this top lane, we see Showtime on the Blade.
And on the red side, up a game in this series, looking for match point, it is Hero League Superstars. Fats on Murda, Needham on Yrel. Free PX playing Hanzo, Maxorian, as we said, on Zeratul, and Caesar Salad playing Oriel.
If you want to give a shout out in chat, my good buddy Recurring Fear with the 7-month resub. Thank you so much for that. HeroesHype definitely appreciates your support. But here we go. Level 1, and both teams staying out of the lanes this time, and a little bit of a jungle attempt here from Fats and Maxorian. They're playing patient.
Ooh, Tenny's gonna walk right by there a lot. Ooh, he didn't spot Fats there, actually. And here comes what I would expect to be a backdoor as the members of Inting for Globes push out into lane. Actually, Maxorian will just be walking around here, I think, checking for anybody else. Maybe they might be looking to catch the pick rotation rather than try to go in on the lane, as Caesar Salad and Free PX will sit here and try to push this one back for the moment. It was pretty even through that first laning phase. Actually, Maxorian going in for the well early on. I love this play. Wants to try and take this out before the first Immortal phase and really swing that in favor of Hero League Superstars when those Immortals spawn.
Yeah, really fun play. I've tried doing this with a Genji before. We'll see if he wants to continue and get any more, but so far, that middle well is one of those ones you really want, because that's where you escape to when you're fighting over the Immortals, and having that down means it's going to be a lot easier now for Hero League Superstars to make a play and not have the sustain available for their opponents. Like a huge pickup there by Zeratul.
And critically, though, they recognize that they're just going to give up that well. They go ahead and pick up the Siege Camp in the bottom lane because they have a little bit better wave clear against that Hanzo and against that Zeratul. So as they start to push this wave in further and further, that Siege Camp should get more value early on. Still pretty weak, but it'll do it. Oh, Caesar Salad got grabbed by Tenny. That should be first blood, and it is, as Oriel can't quite make it out. Got the self-heal, but not enough escape from the aspect of hope.
And maybe that's some of the problem we see continuing in this game for Caesar Salad. Sometimes it's just hard to sustain through long fights when if you're not getting the hope, it's just so hard. And if the damage comes out quick enough from Li Ming, from Greymane, we talked about during draft how they can pull out that instant deletion aspect in this comp. It's gonna be very tough for Oriel to really deal with the first hit and then try to get ready and deal with the second hits that come in from these heroes.
That's the difficulty with Zeratul and Hanzo. They don't get this great kind of bursty damage consistently. Zeratul can put it out, so can Hanzo, but they have it on kind of longer cooldowns, and they don't generate it as frequently as, say, a Gul'dan will, with the Fel Flame hitting a number of heroes. And it just is that struggle. You don't have that long-term sustain of the healing output with Oriel, because you just have so much limitation with how often you can heal and for how much you can heal at any given time.
Here we go. Immortal phase number 1 has started. I mean, in this sort of spot, where do you see the members of Inting for Glow? Oh, wow, that's exactly where on Yrel they find a stun there with Garage. I wasn't expecting them to, like, find anything that quickly, but they got Needham all the way to back up. Caesar Salad has to back up. Now they can get on top of this Immortal. But I was about to say, I don't think Inting for Globes really has the comp they want until level 10, but the damage they just threw out there so quickly on Yrel during this Immortal phase is going to allow them to push this halftime with no contest in their face.
And you can already see Hero League Superstars going off to side lane, although Zeratul lurking at that bottom section there, almost like he wanted to pick up something. And we see opposite side Immortals for this second phase. And this is where I think you'll see that loss of the well early on for Inting for Globes really come into play, because they won't be able to move back, get that tap, and come back in on this Immortal as quickly. So the defense side for Hero League Superstars will be much, much stronger, as they just leave Hanzo on the other side grinding down the Immortal health bar.
And that's a Hanzo without any mana right now, so it's going to take him a very long time to get through that. Great flash there by Caesar Salad and his Oriole to lock in that hero, but Tenny is able to back up, and you mentioned, and we're going to keep talking about it all game, that well is not there, so they're not able to get the supporting they need. They have to run way too far away, so instead they say, let's go for it, and they get it. First Immortal of the game, going to be handed over to Inting for Globes.
Early Immortal shouldn't get too much and doesn't have a ton of shielding as well, so it'll get pushed into tower range very, very quickly. You see Showtime actually not even committing to the push. We'll just go to the off lane, make sure he can soak some of that XP, as Yrel and Zeratul moving down there as well to get a little bit of lane pressure, but they'll come up for the defense pretty quickly.
So they're going to leave the Yrel down on the Blaze and do their best to defend this Immortal push. It will get through the wall and both the towers. Still has about 66% health as it moves onto this Fort Maxorian. Going forward, throwing out a cleave and getting right back out. I don't think there's a way to save this fort. Too many minions here, too much siege potential from Greymane. So that is the first structure of the game down in favor of Inting for Globes. And now Kenny could be in trouble. He's on that Garrosh. He pops Indomitable. Will be able to back up, but Maxorian trying to do whatever he can to get the damage in on top of him. Not going to be enough. They'll survive.
Yeah, thought the 5v4 might be on as Needham came up with the Yrel looking for the flank, but sniffed out a little bit too quickly and now gives up the bottom lane to Showtime as those towers are down, the wall gone, and a decent amount of damage in on that fort as well, really prepping that lane for future phases of play, especially if Inting for Globes goes in, picks up that siege camp in a time when they can't be responded to by Hero League Superstars.
They were thinking about invading it, but without Murda, just wasn't gonna happen. So Khazra camp gonna be pushing top lane, and okay, so Hero League Superstars, they see the bottom lanes open, they know that they have advantage down here, they had eyes on top, they're gonna go for it, but they're gonna get scared away by Blaze, and I would have liked to see them make a more steady rotation down here. Instead, they left Oriole up by the Bruiser camp. Hanzo went back to base, and they're going to give up another camp on one of the neutral camps at least, and just opt to pick up their Bruiser camp instead.
I don't mind that play because they need a little bit of pushback in that top lane, and with the positioning very heavily on the bottom in favor of Inting for Globes, they have that opportunity. Unfortunately, for that, they're going to give up this fort here, and possibly 10 as well, as it's right on the doorstep for Inting for Globes. They'll get the fort back out immediately. That's all they wanted, to push that lane, push the issue to 10, and have heroics for this next Immortal phase.
Yeah, this is exactly what I wanted to see. Tyrande going with the Starfall. And we'll see if they can get a huge Warlord's Challenge off with the Garrosh and get that Starfall on top. It will be lights out in favor of Inting for Globes. Here they are with the level 10, still have the advantage. They're going to try to get some of these more. Oh my god, there's a taunt. There was also that cursed bullet, and that is a dead Hanzo. See you later. Caesar Salad could be next. Winterheart's here. He's going to find it. It's a double kill. Branding for Globes. Murda has Dwarf Toss. He's back. But this is an Immortal time. and 5 members heading towards the red team's Immortal will be able to push it to halftime quickly.
Well, Maxorian picking up level 10 for his team along with Needham on the Urel in the opposite lane. So the respawn timer is short enough here that before halftime, all the members of Hero League Superstars will be up. They'll have all their utility available for them, although on the same vein, so will everybody on the side of Inting for Globes. Halftime come and gone, and here's where we're going to see the next fight as Hero League Superstars looking to invade here while halftime goes off.
Oh, they have to invade here. They got to make a play. There's the Starfall. There's the Warlord's challenge. Poppin'. Our defender is Urel on the backside. It was that VP from Maxorian. Bunkers down now from Blaze. Resetting this fight a bit. Winterheart going to try to get back in here, but he's in Worgen form. He has to be able to get back on this mount. Run as quickly as he can. Jet Propulsion not going to be far enough to lock in any of these members, so no one falling on either squad. The camp was, however, picked up by Inting for Globes. They did not have it taken away from them.
Oh, Azariel getting blasted by Maxorian in the backfield, but at the start of that camp event, oh, never mind. Tanny on Garrosh getting locked down by that lash from Caesar Salad. That's the first kill of this team fight. But want to touch back on that invade. The Void Prison, very good. Got 3 members of Inting for Globes, but the follow-up Dragon's Arrow missed out, and there was no ability to really secure a kill there. Tons of resources gone, and unfortunate, they don't get the kill right away. They get it in the second phase of the fight to do Hero League Superstars, and now they have to try and really burn down this Immortal, as there's enough poke on the side of Inting Globes that they should win this one.
Yeah, this is going to be very tough to defend up against a Leeming, and you see how Showtime keeping a body in front of Azariel, making sure no one gets damage on him. But there you go. Murda down. Up next could be Urel. 300 health left. Is Jet Propulsion enough to reach? Does Blaze even have it available? Doesn't need it. That's a double kill. Caesar Salad will be 3. Cocktail getting the job done. Actually, I think Tyrande got that final hit. So either way, a triple kill for Inting for Globes. Immortal will be pushing his bottom lane. Bruiser Camp still here as they're finding a Hanzo. He's tossed back, taunted, and Jay. This has got to be game right now.
Even with the death timers this low, that keep is already gone as the Immortal walks in. 2 blasts from the sword will get there. 5-man VP actually, but no follow-up. Hanzo's dead. No ability to Dragon's Arrow on that one and get the Void Cleave set up. This should be game as the Immortal sieges up, and there's tons of damage. That's getting thrown in. Gets blown up in that mosh pit of the back. All the members there. 3-man Dragon's Arrow on the respawn, but into the bunker goes all of the members of Inting for Globes. Core at 50%, still going down as Winterheart clawing away at it. Their health bar staying alive as Tyrande doing work. Hanzo down 4%, 3, 1%, and down. Series goes 1-1 as Inting for Globes takes Battlefield of Eternity.
Oh, I told you this grand finals was going to be good, and we're going the distance, Jay. Inting for Globes taking a huge resurgence of a win there on BOE. I got to know where we're heading for game number 3, because game number 1, it looked pretty favorable for Hero League Superstars. I thought they were the better team clearly in game number 1. But you can flip that right over. Game number 2 was all Inting for Globes. Very solid play. A deadly composition with the Greymane and the Leeming. Winterheart resuming his role of our MVP of the evening, playing one of these heroes. That time not on a hyper carry Vala, but looking so good for Inting for Globes.
I just want to point out again that Li Ming is 100% win rate so far this tournament.
Wow.
It's not even the fact that Li Ming can put out so much damage. It's just having the potential to chain kills together. And it's such a critical aspect of a composition, it seems these days, as Oriel's healing output seemed fine. I mean, numbers-wise, right on the same level as Tyrande, only about 2,000 healing back. But the difference in when those heals come out, just look at the final fight. Winterheart on the Greymane getting destroyed by the core, but Valimar able to keep going with heal after heal to keep that DPS output alive was a huge difference. Even losing Tenny in that one fight was back by the time halftime was done, and they had just enough poke to get over the line ahead of a Hanzo Zeratul that just don't have that same kind of burn on the Immortal.